Hey y'all, I'm Kiki Hunter.
What's good, people? I'm Marc and Keakea.
Welcome
Welcome
to
to
the
the
Hunt
Hunt
Life
Life
Podcast.
Podcast.
We created this podcast to give a real view of life as millennials navigating the world.
Real life discussions about the struggles our generation go through from family, love, and everyday life. We just trying to break generational curses to chase our dream life.
Come with us on this journey to hunt life and tackle everything else in between.
How you doing, people? It's Mark.
I'm Kiki Hunter,
It's the Hunt Life Podcast.
and today we got communication.
Yeah, communication and relationships. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
In any kind of relationship, whether it's like business relationships, your spouse, your friendship, just relationships in general. I think those are like the main ones we're gonna like touch on. It's like those type of relationships when it comes to communication. Okay, so how you what you
Cause he
what's
be switching
funny?
stuff up on me, y'all. Like this crazy. Man,
How?
that's crazy. Cause we literally just said you asked me for the footnote,
Yes, and we said
and
communication and relationships. But those are relationships, right? Right?
you be stressing me.
How? When we was talking about the
When we
conversation
were
at
talking
first,
about
we said,
relationships.
oh, okay, well, we could just touch on relationships then. Because the friendship can come later on. That can be another topic because that's an interesting thing, I think, too. It's like talking about communication and that, too. So it's like, that's what it is. What do you feel like communication is rampant in like relationships? Do you feel like we just, in general, have communication issues? Or what? Like, how do you feel about that? What
Like
made
we
you
as a
want to do?
generation.
Yeah. What made you want to like touch on this topic?
Because did you know
What's that?
millennials have the worst communication skills of all the generations?
No, I didn't know that.
Like,
I mean, I can believe
I
it, but I
found
didn't
that
know that.
out and thought that was wild.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of like a crazy,
Like,
it's kind of crazy.
out of all of them, we got the
Yeah.
worst one? Like, that's crazy.
I mean, but then the kind of
But
sort of
it makes
like
sense.
who wrote the article? Because it could have
It's
been a
every,
salty boomer
all of
that
them.
wrote the, I
It's a
mean,
bunch of them that talks about, like they was on our ass.
yeah, but the
Like,
boomers are on our ass. When you think about it, the boomers always on our ass. They feel like that we lazy and we always finding the easy way out and stuff like that instead of like hard work. Like it's not too many like boomer dudes out there that be sitting there talking about like, oh nah. If I was when I was your age, we used to work outside in 100-degree weather, tossing shit. Like, yeah, they used to always say on some factory or some coal mine stuff, y'all boys ain't out here doing no hard work. Even if you a dude and you work like for the post office, like them old dudes will fire you up. That ain't no hard work. You better go get a city job or something. So it's like, yeah, the boomers be on our ass. So it's like they write the article.
statistics don't lie. But I don't know who wrote it, but it's statistically millennials are have the worst communication skills of all the generations.
Okay.
I was shocked to know that.
I can believe it, but yeah.
I can believe it. That's the sad part about it because it was multiple articles where they were just on our ass about like everywhere you look, you can look it up. Like X the pain points of millennials or like problems with millennials, communication and debt is going
Communication
two
and
top
debt. That's our two
ones.
top things.
That was crazy to me.
I can believe that.
And that's the sad part. I can believe it. Because how many people avoid confrontation or are overly confrontational? We never have a middle ground.
True.
Like you upset, but you still level headed about it.
I mean, 0 to 100 real quick.
And Drake, I bet Drake knew that stat. I bet he
Bet you a
knew
bunch of people know that
that
stat.
stat because when you listen to his music,
Yeah.
no new friends. No
Yeah.
new friends. No. Listen, and we all jammed that song like hardcore. I had one friend that was like, "What is wrong with y'all? You should be making new friends, right?"
Yeah.
She was like by herself, and everybody else was like, "Nah, no new friends. We good."
Yeah.
Like, and that's the problem. We will avoid communication.
True.
And then be like mad because people don't communicate.
Yes, that's true.
And then I had to start to think about when did I realize I had a communication problem? Like really, like the stat sent me because now it just I'm like really.
So that stat pretty much sent you down a rabbit hole, and it made you think about when did you have communication issues.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, when did you feel like that happened?
I think I realized I had communication issues like it could have been like that 18, 19 years, like coming into adulthood.
Yeah.
And like I had this epic fight with my friend, right? Like my best friend, we had this epic fight, broke out, felt like everything was like, I ain't never talking to y'all again, right? It was real dramatic. And I pop off, believe it or not. Like I pop off. So I'm the one that's gonna take it too far because I'm mad. But not take it to a point where it's like downright disrespectful, but my mouth will get me in trouble a lot of times because I'm already honest. And then when I'm mad, it's gloves off honesty. Like, so it's like you don't, and then like back then, younger me, like I'm always on the text. So it's like a vicious, like you ain't even got to be that cool.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, and we are into it. And like, it was something she said to me. And she was like, the way you talk to people, you ain't never going to keep nobody around. Right. And like, that was a trigger for me because coming from a traumatic childhood, being an abused child, like being on my own at an early age, it made me be like, dang. And I was like, that's not, like, at the time, I'm like, that ain't fucking true.
Yeah.
Right? And then I had to realize, like, dang, maybe I did take that too far. Like, maybe it is a certain thing of being too honest.
So was you, like, much older when you came to that revelation?
No, I was like 18, 19. I was like, I'm a little fucked up.
Even after that argument, you came to the revelation that, like, maybe my communication needs to be fixed.
Yeah, I came to the revelation then because when I get into an argument with certain people, I really reflect. Even if I'm mad, like after I come down off of it, I really take it to heart. And that's something I don't think people know about me. Yeah. I take it to heart and I'm really reflecting on it. And even back then, because I knew I had trauma back then, like I was just angry from my childhood. So I knew I had anger problems already. That wasn't even a question. I was very aware. Then I knew I can be brutally honest, and sometimes it wasn't on purpose, but I knew when I was mad, I used it as a weapon too. It was like one of those things. And I immediately, after I came down off of it, I was like, I am a little fucked up. Like, yeah, I could have handled a lot of situations better. Like, why can't I just say something hurt my feelings? At the time, because I was young, even though I had reflected on it, I didn't necessarily know what to do to fix it. So that kind of kept me just kind of in a loophole of just being more introverted, I guess, than I wanted to be. Because it was just like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to just, because I messed up, I'm going to just be to myself. Yeah. And I think getting in a relationship with you, who, like, we're polar opposites. Yeah. Like, I don't think
that's what made me realize that I really have like communication issues. That's when I honestly was like, all right. And then not even like at the beginning, it's when I realized that I got communication issues. It was more like maybe like 5, 6 years like in the game. Like
really?
Yeah. It took me a while to understand that, like, because of like, look, my upbringing and like, all my little past traumas and shit like that I realized that I do have like the touchy things to where like, I do kind of sort of like rather not talk about the shit and like let that shit slide instead of just talking about it. it's like, all right, it is what it is, until it's more so I have to talk about it. If I got to talk about it, then yeah. If I ain't got to, it's more so I'm a type of a need to know basis type person. Like, it's a who needs to know it. It ain't like everybody not privy to like everything. You feel me? It's a need to know situation.
That's the
and
most
like
honesty he has ever.
I believe that's when I start realizing that like it can't like be like that, because I got to be able to talk to my wife. I got to be able to talk to my son.
Right.
I got to be able to like understand the way I was talking to my friends back when we was younger. Like, yeah, that shit wasn't cool. And like how to like fix different relationships with that, because we were younger, we all did different things and stuff. So it's like, yeah, we handled the situation different. But it's like, I feel like on my behalf, I had to like, like set the record straight that I dropped the ball on saying certain, or trying to say this or didn't say this.
Yeah.
And then I just had to like, try to pick up the pieces with everybody when it comes to that and stuff like that. Cause it even like trickled down to like with my son, to where like, yeah, the first one, Santana, to where it was like, yeah, I feel like our communication wasn't the way it needed to be, because I didn't understand how to communicate with people. So once I started realizing that, like, yeah, I got to communicate a little bit better, then that's what's going to make him communicate with me. And then that's what made me more comfortable with it. And then it was more so you showing me that like, you down for me and through everything, through thick and thin, even after marriage and stuff, just being down for me thick and thin. That's what made me more comfortable, and with understanding that like I gotta talk to you about shit.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, yeah, you know how I am. I don't really talk about a lot of shit. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
I gotta start doing that. And like ever since then, it's just like more and more, I feel like I'm coming out my shell a little bit better, and like I talk about stuff a little bit more.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's the crazy part. It's the growth thing, I guess. It's just understanding that I had that problem and I needed to like work on that. Because it's like we all have like different little like quirks and niches and everything. That we have, and it's like some of them is like toxic as hell. Some of them is like extra. And it's like you can like hone it back. You can pull it back a little bit. You can use it for when it's need to be used. But you ain't got to use it on everybody and all the time. Because then that's when it becomes like, yeah, don't nobody want to fuck with you. Don't nobody want to kick it with you. And it's like, that's when it turns into, it's a you problem, not a them problem. You the one that got the issues. So it's like, yeah, you just got to fix them little things about yourself.
That's true. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even with like the fight with me and my best friend was so detrimental to me. Like, cause like that was childhood. So we was like friends since middle school. And then like, and when we got into it about it was really like, I don't even remember what it was, but I know it wasn't even probably that deep. And I really thought I lost my best friend. So it stuck with me because I was like, and at that point I was like, I vowed to like, I didn't know how to fix my communication. I didn't fully understand why I could not communicate. But I knew I did not want to lose somebody else because I cannot control or say how I feel appropriately.
Communication, shit. I got a communication story for you. Me and my partner, we had our first apartment together. Talking about non-communicating, all we were just doing was just having fun. We didn't communicate with the people in the office. We didn't communicate with nobody. We was in this mug thugging. I knew how to keep the lights on without having to pay them bad boys. I knew how to keep the water on. Like, I knew how to keep the cable on. So we was in that mug lit, bro. We wasn't paying nothing. We was in that mug thugging it.
I cannot.
And we was just young, but we had jobs, don't get me wrong. We was literally working right around the corner. It just like we was using our money for other shit. Like,
listen, that ass Mark was the one to show me how to really be like real ghetto.
Yeah,
like when I met him, I thought I was
we gonna make it. I'm gonna
Baby,
show you how to make it. You feel me?
I
We
can
gonna survive. I'm a survivor. You
facts.
feel me?
Ain't
We gonna
nothing
thug it
else.
out. You feel me?
No, that's a fact. I'm gonna make
Mm-hmm.
it with him. Cause
Mm-hmm.
listen, I'll be whole freaking. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what is happening. Cause I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking I'm hood. I'm from the
Looking
hood, but
ass.
growing up, my daddy would never. Like I have never been in certain situations. So that
Like,
listen, and
nah,
me and
shit
him have
get.
went to situations
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't go through as necessarily as a child. But I'm like that. I learned like survival skills, like effects, like
Yeah,
real
you gotta be
hood
able
survival
to. Yeah.
skills.
Okay. Yeah, you
But
gotta like, yeah, you kind of sort of really learn, understood that whole like getting it out the mud shit. Like when we literally started with like a TV, a mattress, and a PS3, my nigga. Like, and
that's
we just got the
it.
internet. Like that was the first thing we did was got internet, and it was like it was on.
Yeah.
But nah, back to the communication thing. The
But back
communication
yeah.
was so bad with the whole situation. Like we all ended up getting evicted and everything. But duh, that was gonna happen. We all was like 18 years old. We
Yeah.
17, fresh 17, 18, fresh out of school,
Yeah.
like with good jobs, making bread. We ain't worrying about paying no damn rent. We don't know nothing about paying no rent.
Yeah.
So we out here just thugging,
Yeah.
living life. Like, so we got kicked out. Everybody kind of sort of like went back to their people's house, but mine was in Louisiana. So like, yeah, I was like strung out here by myself, like out here like assed out by myself. So I'm like, well, fuck it. Don't nobody really want to like take me in. Ain't nobody offering. So I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna just find my way out that way. So I moved to Louisiana for a little bit. But I feel like if I would have communicated that, like, yeah, I just needed somewhere to crash for a little bit so I can get on my feet because it wasn't nothing to find a better job to try to get my bread up. Maybe somebody would have helped me, but I was being more like big headed and like proud about it.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I'm gonna get it out the mud on my own.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, when I get back, I'm gonna bounce back. And that's kind of sort of been one of my main drives is because when I turned 18, like I'm staying on Westheimer.
Yeah.
Boys out here got bread, like everybody got cars, everybody doing shit.
Yeah.
And then it's like, bam, it was like, yeah, niggas fell down to earth. Moved back with my T.
Yeah.
So when I came back to the H, as soon as I got back up on this bread, it was like back to the top for me because I'm like, nah, I know where I want to get to.
Yeah.
So it's like getting back to that and then adding on to it. But through all of that, it was just like niggas still had to learn how to communicate.
Yeah.
I did not know how to communicate with nobody.
Yeah.
And that was the crazy part.
But I think we were never, because looking back on it, because like I said, going through that as like a fresh adult, 18, 19, like going through that and like understand like, dang, I know I have something wrong, but I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what it is. Is it normal? Like, I don't know. And then getting older and starting to realize that, okay, that is on me. Like, I have to say it. Like, I have to, like, act. I have to communicate I need because people won't know. And there's nothing wrong with it. And it's like finding that voice. But as a kid, I don't think that our parents taught us to like how we see Santana and Maddox, like they get upset and we're like, say how you feel, what is it that you need? Like we tell them to voice that. We didn't really, I don't think our parents did that with us.
Yeah.
They never taught us how to properly communicate how we feel, how we think, what's wrong, what's going on. Like it was just, if you had an attitude, you could shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying? And then like for me especially, I got the like I grew up, you couldn't say do nothing before getting hit. Well, for me. And so I was very shut down. Like if you didn't specifically look at me and ask me a question, I wasn't talking. And I was trained to do like that was me and my mom's relationship. Like if you don't ask, I don't talk. And I carried that over to adulthood to realize, okay, well, wait a minute. And like I said, being with you, it taught me like, dang, okay. I was aware of it and I was already kind of getting into studying it and figuring it out. But because we're polar opposite, it made me be like, okay, it made me recognize what communication skills you had. And I was like, so I always said, like, I know you just don't talk. Like, you just be okay. Like, you don't really like to make a fuss about stuff. It takes a lot for you to, like, say how you feel. Like, and it's usually by the time you blow up about it. And that was our thing, because if you blow up, I'm gonna blow up.
True.
Now both of us is like having this big misunderstanding. And baby, September, these kids
at this time every single day.
I don't know what type of alarm. But it made me feel like one of us, this relationship was not going to work if both of us continue to blow up.
True.
So I was like, okay, I have to be the calmer one to make it work. So if I see you rising to a level, it's like, okay, now I need to calm down.
And I think they go both ways. Pause. I think like in certain situations, it's like that. When I feel like that in certain situations, and it's like it calls for you to be a little bit more on the attack type shit when it comes to an argument, then I don't mind like chilling out and like, you know, like letting you do your thing. And then when it's like on some other shit, then it's like you don't mind chilling out and letting me do the other thing. So it's like I feel like it's like a mutual thing when it comes to that now, instead of how it was at first when we didn't know how to communicate. Because then it was just a bumping of the heads.
Yeah, very much.
All the time.
We was always bumping heads because we never agreed. We look at things totally different. And so it was like I had to learn how to be like, okay, because the communication for me was small compared to just our overall relationship. So I always felt like it can be fixed. I just didn't know necessarily how. And then when I started getting the dynamic of, okay, so I have to be a little bit more calmer to not like scare you away from talking to me. Like, cause sometimes females, like, we be with that rah-rah stuff. So it's like we yelling, we fussing, we cussing, and I don't need you here. And then wonder why we can't get y'all to talk to us.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody really wants to hear that if you're really trying to hear what I feel. Like,
yeah, especially if it's been a while and we've been arguing about this, and it's like, bro, you still on 10?
Yeah.
Like, fam, like this conversation was like me yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, why are you still up there? Like, calm down so we can like get through this conversation. So yeah, I can understand that. So do you feel like understanding your love language or understanding my love language is like it kind of sort of help with communication?
Yeah. I think in the recent years of learning like what a love language is, how to communicate better, learning a love language was a big thing because it don't just helps me understand like how to deal with you, but also makes me understand my feelings a little bit better and understand me and how my outlook on the world and what I need to receive love myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm also the person who will put my feelings to the side for so long, and then I'm like, nobody ever gives me loyalty back. And that took me being like, okay, well, what is your loyalty? Like, what is that? You need like have
you
people
needed to
know
understand what it is and then communicate it to the people.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
And another pivotal moment for me was when my grandmother passed.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest pivotal moment for me because I didn't know what to do with myself. And I remember we were into an argument. I didn't remember what we were in an argument about, but we were in an argument the days leading up to her passing. And I remember that morning we had gotten into a really bad argument, and then I got the phone call because you were at work, but we were into it. Yeah. And then I got the phone call that she had passed, and I'm like, I done spent all this time arguing with you about whatever at the time. I don't even think I remember the time. And I'm like, and I lost my grandmother at a pivotal moment for me, right? And I was like, dang. And then it started reflecting on me about how I didn't communicate with her leading up to her passing, and how I was always waiting for the right moment to call her, or what if she didn't remember me because she was dealing with the Alzheimer's. Like, it really took a toll, and that's when I think I told you, I was like, I think we should say I love you more. Like, I think we should, like, it really made me want to, like, stop. It's a difference in understanding that you have a problem and then now wanting to do something to really, really fix the problem. Because when you initially figure out you have a problem, like communication, you can understand it, but some people are like, okay, like I said, I didn't know how to fix it, so it's kind of like that's just what you get when you gonna deal with me. You just understand it, right? But then it turned into okay, no, I really gotta fix this, because for me, I felt like I should have been spending those hours and those days leading up to her passing, because we knew. It's not like we know, like it was a surprise. We all knew it was happening. So I felt like I should have spent those days communicating and being spiritually like there, and like communicating with my family more, and being more of a support to them versus being caught up in my whole spiral of everything that I just had going on in general. Because it was a lot of chaos at the time of her passing too. So that was a big moment to make me want to fix my communication.
Yeah.
Because now I feel like I have a fear of somebody passing on me and me never getting a chance to say what I really wanted to say. I feel like that I wouldn't be able to really handle that, and that her passing taught me that. So yeah, but the love language helped a lot with us, especially going through our rough patch, because for me it confirmed what I already knew about you. Yeah. What your love languages were. And I was like, now I need to get him to understand what his, so it can make it easier like, for everybody.
Who knows what their love language is?
Yeah, because I was asking you, okay, what do you want?
Yeah.
And you could never really answer it. Like,
yeah, I couldn't answer it like in a girl way. That's what it was. I feel like that's what it was. Like I couldn't answer it in a girl way. So I think at that moment and all them times when you was asking me that, I think that I didn't understand the question at that moment. Yes, I understood what you were saying, but like physically like understood like what you was talking about at that moment. Nah, I didn't understand it. So that's why I did give you the answers that I give you, or like half-ass gave you answers, because it was like, I really don't know what you're talking about. I do what you know what you're talking about, but I don't. Because I'm like, bro, I'm saying what I'm saying, but it's like, you're not understanding it. So it's like,
that was the breakdown.
That was the thing. It was like, yeah, how can I communicate to her that I'm doing the stuff like that we trying to do, but it's like, yeah, like, I got you, bro. I got you. I got your back. It's not no bumping heads type shit when it comes to all this. I understand that you want to like talk to me a little bit better. You want me to like talk to you a little bit better and understand like that because you did have a rough upbringing, or because like you do like look at a bunch of different this or watching a different ad or listening to this. It doesn't matter that you bring into your relationship. It doesn't matter about pretty much this whole like what you do with the boys. Yeah. How you talk with the boys, even if you like talking shit, it doesn't matter about that. You can't pretty much talk to like your wife or your girlfriend like that.
Yeah.
And I think that was a thing too. Because it was more so like, shit, woman, like, don't worry about it. Like, yeah, just do what you do, fam. Like, and it was more so understanding that, like, that's not like logical. You gotta be able to like say some shit. Like, can't nobody read your mind. And I think
that was the thing. Yeah, and I used to always say that a lot. I'm like, you want me to read your mind, and I cannot. Like, I can't.
Max, sit down.
Transitioning.
Yeah, no.
But
Yeah, you couldn't read my mind.
Yeah, I used to tell you that all the time. Like, I can't read your mind. You want me to read your mind? Like, how am I supposed to know?
But
that?
I feel like we both was trying to be mind readers because you wanted me to read your mind.
I did, and then something I had to realize. I was like, well, how did he know? And I think it was just watching different things, because I was like big on like Judge Lynn Taylor. Like, I was watching all the like psychology shows, therapy shows.
Black
like
Love,
I was, Black Love, and I was like, oh well, I never did say that. Like, I never did ask him to help me. So like, how, and then it was also understanding my own needs. So like, my love language is affirmations. Like, I need affirmations and acts of service. And that was my number one, because you get 2 love languages, y'all. Yeah. Like, you get 2 love languages, and like they rank them. So like, I think it's the love language quiz. I'm gonna drop the link. But you take it and you get your love languages, and it's like words of affirmation, touch, acts of service, gift giving, and it's one more I'm missing. I'm missing one.
No, that's acts. Because I'm an acts of service type person.
I think time.
Oh yeah,
time and attention or something like that.
Some shit like that.
And I don't require a lot of time. I never have. I'm very simple. Like, I don't need to be with you all day to know that you love me. That don't make me feel no type of way. Sometimes it makes me feel a little smutty. So that was very low. But words of affirmation and acts of service and gift giving were my top ones, because
she did the test for me, even though I did it on my own, but she did it herself, and she pretty much double quizzed me. She wanted to see if I took the test the right way, to see if it was the right way. And it's like, bro, like,
just listen.
And it's like, do you feel like that my love languages was what you feel like they were?
Yeah.
Did I answer it the way that like I needed to? Like,
I wasn't trying to control the response. I just was trying to make sure you took it serious, because y'all know, guys, y'all be like, all right, I took it here, and it's like, did you even read? Yeah, like, come on, like, take it for real, because I'm really trying to like figure some stuff out here, and it wasn't forcing you to do it with like. Because I was doing therapy and everything just myself. I was trying to really help myself. Yeah. But we were going through stuff in our marriage to where it was like, no, we not going to make it if we continue to communicate like this. Like, especially like when we had Maddox, it was so much going on through that time. Yes, that was a lot of time we did not really communicate about nothing. 2020, like, right, going into COVID.
The thing is, we've been so we had to like grow together, and when we're growing together, it's like it's very bumpy, because like I gotta go through my struggles and everything, trying to learn how to become a man. She gotta go through everything that she has to go through to learn how to become the woman that she wanna be, and be successful and like confident in the person that she is. Yeah. In order to like be the wife that I want, and it's vice versa. I have to be comfortable in the person that I am, and have like everything secured in myself, so I can be able to be the person that he wants. So throughout the years, it was like we had to learn how to grow different ways, and like communication was a big thing. Like, it was a big thing. So it was like
it was something I don't think we knew was a big thing. Yeah. Like, I think we knew it was there, but we didn't think it was that big of a deal. Yeah. You know, like, because when you're young, you don't understand how that really affects us. Yeah. Especially until when you start throwing kids in the mix, and you start throwing like life, work, family, friends.
Because I mean,
the more stuff you build on, the more you start to see that, like, okay, we need to work on this. And then at that time, we were going into owning businesses, so it's like, if we do not figure out how to communicate, nothing gonna make it. Business not gonna make it. Like, relationship not gonna make it. Like, we not doing our job. And then we got kids who looking at us. So it's like, what is that gonna do to them? Like, because we can't get it together and communicate. So, yeah. Like your love language is what I thought. But I think you needed to realize what your love language was.
Oh, I needed to know what it was so I can have a better understanding of myself. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, because I was telling you this and you was like, no, that like
because I don't like I didn't understand that love. Like I was about to say, I
tell
don't
him what
believe in
was
that type of
your
stuff.
what
But
was
it's
your love
like,
language?
I mean, with touch and like, I always feel like it was acts of service.
And that was the problem because that's what you thought, and it was like no, because I do stuff for you, you don't give a shit. like, like you don't give a shit. Like I'm out here running myself crazy, and he don't care about nothing. I was like, it's time because since we've been together, especially when we were younger, you always fussed at me about my time and like me. Listen, don't invite us no more because we are gonna fight.
She has time issues, man. Like in all, she's like the worst person when it comes to time. Like for her to know that like money is time and she chooses to be late, it's like, bro, like, oh, okay, you just running on your own currency around here. Is what you doing. Cause like that's crazy. Yeah, you on your own currency, man. Like you doing what you want to do. And it's like it's nothing wrong with that.
It's not on purpose.
But
I swear.
helped me out.
I'm a free spirit. Is what it is.
I know, and that's the part that helped me out because it's like, bro,
I'd be like, chill out.
I'm kind of punctual. Like I'm hella punctual as hell. But it's like, but I'm a hippie though. So it's like, how can you be a hippie and you be punctual at the same time?
Maybe that man will be.
Like, that's the crazy part. Like yeah, I'm
baby, making Mark wait. He will burn a hole in you.
I feel like if I'm not 10 minutes early, then I'm not on time.
He really feel like that, and I'd be like, bro, chill out.
Yeah, I always been like that, but that's probably just because
we still argue about that.
Like I was in ROTC for multiple years.
I was too, so and we talked about that. And I do not. I showed up late there. Like they knew I was gonna come through that door late.
I just changed my outfit. I changed my uniform. Say yeah, I just changed my uniform. Day. I wear that bad boy to class, and I take that bad as soon as I left.
Oh yeah, baby, I'm out of that uniform.
Yeah, I get caught up in everything. Oh well. It is what it is. We'll deal with that up on that when we get back to class. But I'm not gonna walk around all day with this uniform on. Nah. Like, yeah, I'm in here when I'm in here. When I'm out of here, I'm out of here, bro. Like, this ain't no. I wasn't no ROTC to the death, like nigga.
It sound like it, baby. He punctual. And he really thought like it was acts of service. And that wasn't it. He stuff his time because he yells at me all the time about time.
Acts of service
and
is
then,
number 3 then.
Yeah, I think that was down
it's
there.
Like both of them, it's like a teeter-totter to me. Like them
to
two
you,
is like, damn,
but it's not in real life. That's what he
in real life
it
is. Because I'm not gonna let no damn computer or no dumbass test. I mean, it's not a dumb test, but in my mind, no dumbass test gonna sit here and try to tell me what I like. You feel me?
That man.
That's not how I get down.
He don't tell you. His love language was touch.
Marion ass boy.
And time and attention.
Yeah.
From everything that we would get into it about, communication and time was our top 2 things. Either I was always too busy for him. You would feel like I was constantly too busy for you. And I was like, what? How am I? What do you want to do? Like, I want to feel like, what do you want to do? Especially when I was younger and I used to like go out to eat and like just do shit by myself. You'd be like, bro, so you're not going to invite me? No.
Yeah,
and I remember we got into it about it and I was just
shit. And it's like, bro, like, fam, I'm like,
I like being by myself.
Nothing, and you over here dry ass going to eat by yourself. Like, you could have hit boys up. You would have known I would have scooped you up. We could have went to go eat.
Listen.
You already know. I would have came through.
But that's true. But I didn't think about it until you said it. I'm a loner by nature. And I just don't think about including people. Even like now, I just dry as do stuff by myself. It's just not. And I was like, it wasn't to offend you. But like from even then, when you used to be like, bro, I'm right here. I'm like, he need time. Like this man require a lot of time. I just want him to understand that you gotta let me fly. Like I'm
Yeah,
gonna give
nah,
you
I
your
didn't understand
time.
that at that moment, but that was like, I mean, that's the whole way trying to figure out and learning what
Trying to cage the
Sagittarius
word.
is
I
and all
can't be
that stuff.
caged.
It's like
But I'm gonna
you
give you what
learn.
you need, though. Like I'm gonna give you what you need when you just tell me what you. Because then I know to prioritize making time with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't when he don't realize that's what he needed.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I was like. Okay, see, like you need time, and then made him learn something else about your own self.
Yeah.
Like, because it makes you think about it. Like, dang, do I really need time? Then you have to think about it. I'm like, yes, you do.
Yeah.
It's not that you require me to be saying something or doing anything with you, but you just sometimes just want to be in my presence, and like that's still giving you time. That makes you feel important, and that's okay.
True.
That's we all need different things for survival to feel loved, and they don't always have to look the same. Because it took me explaining to you like I get that your act of service, I see you helping me, but I need you to be encouraging me more. Like I need you to boost me up with like your words first. Like I can see you over there cleaning up or cooking dinner, but like you ain't said 2 words to me, so I still feel like crap.
Mm-hmm. True.
And it took me being like, I get that that's your way of showing me that you love me, but it don't work for me. And I can't keep trying to make it work for me because it's not making me feel fulfilled.
For us to be in each other's presence so we can both feel love, because it's like you ain't finna like do me like that, my guy. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, yeah. She like on my ass. I'm like, bro, like, oh, okay. That's how we finna do it right now. On my ass you go. I'm like, oh, okay. We're gonna have to put an asterisk to that statement. Gotta clarify that statement with the quickness. And
Bro.
I'm just saying, like, communication. I mean, I feel like for me, my thing with communication was this. When I was younger, I had a big problem with like, this. I was a big user of I say no, not even user, I say abuser of the words, the B's and the H's, you feel me? And it was like as a young buck, I feel like that was just
And plenty of fights, baby. I was like, I'm
like
gonna
I
show
guess because
you
of just
what
the
one
stuff
gonna
that
look
I
like.
watch and the stuff that I listen to that had me more so in that mindset that feel like that's what it was. And more so the lifestyle that I was living at that moment. So it's like, yeah, I used them like terminology more, but it was like understanding that like it is my wife, and it's like I can't continue to like talk to her like that because it's like it is degrading, especially after she had to go out, sit down and tell me that it's like that's disrespectful and it hurt her feelings, and for me to like really like take it for real, then like that really hurt her feelings to where it was like, all right, I gotta fix that part of how I communicate. And I think that was like my first step in trying to figure out how to communicate. It was like actually like talking to you like a little bit better, especially when our son, like the firstborn, was like coming of age to where he's like actually like can hear us talking. So it was like once he started becoming that, because we never was a argue in front of our son type couple. We never
I
really
don't
do
argue in
that. We
front of my
always, if we
kids.
do argue, it'll be when he go to sleep or we somewhere else, and like yeah, he's not really around in that area. So it's like even when we did, it's like, yeah, it's just trying to like make sure that I be more respectful. And then I don't want him to speak to his mother like that. I don't even want him to speak to females like that in general.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I have to quit like talking like that in front of people all the time. Because I'm not going to say I don't say that again, because that'll be a lie. Because I still use the words. So it's like, I'm not going to, oh no, I'm not going to sit here and cap like boys be doing. Boys be camping, fam. Like I still throw out B's and H's all days. N's, like HNs, like I mean whatever like abbreviations you want me like them HANs, like I got abbreviations for days, you feel me? But it's like I still like talk like that, but it's like I understand that it's like talking like that when I'm with certain people. I can't like fully talk like that with my wife, but I can still talk like that a little bit, but I gotta be a little bit more respectful. I definitely can't talk like that to my little guys because it's like, bro, you don't want your little dudes to be sitting out here talking rough like that. Mm-hmm. Sure, they kind of sort of say what's on their mind, and I know they kind of sort of got a little potty mouth because I done heard Santana cuss like plenty of times. He thinking that he gonna be cussing when he be playing the game, but like let somebody come out of nowhere and pop his ass on Fortnite, he gonna cuss. And it's like I catch him, but I let him slide because it's like, bro, you expressing yourself. But it's like once I understood that part of my communication was like lacking real bad, I started fixing it. And it was like that was my beginning, like turning point. Then like I need to start fixing on my communication skills. And then for me, the simple fact of having helping my father before, like, my biological father before he passed and everything for the past 2 years and everything before we got married, and like being able to like reconnect with him and understand myself a little bit better. So that kind of sort of helped me with communication because it was like that helped me put me in a different mindset to understand of like the man that I am to this day. Because like that time of my life was like very pivotal for me because it really like it changed me and it molded me and like it helped me grow up to be like the man that I am like right now and stuff like that. That and then also with like my stepfather, like when he passed away, it's like both of them before both of them died, I was able to like have like very good communication with them. Yeah. And those were the two people that were supposed to teach me how to communicate. Yeah. And it was like, sure, it was like a sad time that they did teach me how to communicate, but they still was able to like mend the things that we all had that was going on between us. Yeah. And also teaching me a little bit more about myself and like helping me understand that I can communicate a little bit better and what I need to communicate about. So it's like once like all that stuff started going on, that's when it kind of sort of started helping me like communicate. Yeah. And then it was like then after that, then it was just more so you just telling me, okay, I get it, you're communicating when stuff is dire. Now let's talk about like the little stuff, like how we gonna make sure that this bill and this bill paid. Yeah. Not just you're gonna get it done. Let's communicate about that. Yeah. We don't have to communicate about like BS all the time. Can we communicate about like real stuff? Yeah. And that was the thing. I had to learn how to do that because it's like it's stages of communication. It's like every single time I thought that I learned how to communicate, it was like now I got to learn how to communicate more. Then I got to learn how to communicate more. Like
it's hard work. Stopped very early on in a relationship because, like you said, like I communicate like I'm not gonna be taking talking to me like that. Like I can't. I'm just not about to do this because one, it was also me trying to understand the background I came from. I already came from an abusive background with my mom, so talking to me any kind of way. So I'm not gonna get in a relationship with somebody
when
else.
You explain that to me, and like you really set me down and explain that to me. That's when I realized that I cannot like talk to you like that because that is like triggering for you. And that's always been my thing since we've been friends or since we've been together this whole entire time is like I always want to make you happy. I don't want to do nothing to like trigger you or like break you down. So once she was communicating to me that my communication skills is poor, it was like, all right, let me figure out what I need to do to fix it. Yeah. Because it wasn't more so about like fixing it for you. It was just fixing it in general because it's like, maybe I can communicate well. Yeah. Because if I start communicating well, who knows where that'll take me. Yeah. And it's like my communication has landed me different clients to where like, I have different like people that's on like retainers and stuff to where I'm washing their cars every other week and stuff. And it's because I'm able to communicate. It's where I'm doing every quarter that I have to go through like a big food company's
like go watch their vehicles and stuff for them is because I can communicate a little bit better. And like I feel like me learning how to communicate at the time that I did help me be able to land these deals. Not only just you helped me, but it's like you the buffer, I'm the closer.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you say. You can have them like ready for their car wash and give them the best customer service in the world.
Yeah.
But if I don't get there and like deliver and close it, it's like it don't go nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's like I had to learn how to communicate that, especially for a person that's I'm like what's the word I'm looking for? Introverted as fuck.
Introverted,
you feel me?
Introverted.
Like so it's like that's also another thing is how to be an introvert and still communicate. Because even with this whole like talking on camera shit, sure I'm not nervous about it. That's not the point. I'm not like that kind of introvert to where like I freak out in public or I can like talk to people. It's just I don't prefer. I prefer to like keep it to myself. You feel me? Like I'm a lone wolf, you feel me? So that's more so my thing. I can hold conversations, I can talk to people.
Cause that was the thing when I met you and I brought you around everybody.
I prefer to keep it to myself.
Yeah, everybody's like, he is so quiet, like he don't talk to you. And I'm like, he does talk. Y'all just gotta get to know him. I used to say everybody, that was everybody's thing. Everybody's like, why do not talk? Like, what y'all's like, I don't get it. Like, nobody really got us. Everybody was like, I don't understand. And I used to be like, you just got to get to know him. Like, you got to have something worth talking about. So for me, I was always the one to kind of pick on him. So we would pick on each other to get each other to talk. It was like doing loop stuff. And so, but because our signs are both so fiery, that was good thing. It was bad thing. Like, we had to learn how to control the bad part and figure that out. And as we went on through our relationship, like even you remember that time we had that fight, and then I had broke your mama wall. I had put the hole in her wall, and I was like, we gotta like do better. Like that was like nice. It was just like explosive. So like now learning like as an adult and a mother, like a wife, like learning how to communicate and going through that journey of figuring it out, and you can't like understanding you cannot be scared
to communicate.
Yeah, to communicate. You cannot be scared to tell somebody how you feel. Like, just say it now. Like, you can't control nobody else's feelings. And that was like a thing. Even when we went through like the marriage counseling, like to get married, and they were like, y'all waiting on each other, and we was anticipating each other's next move without giving either person a chance to just do or say how they feel and just do what we need to do. We weren't allowing each other to do that, and I think that's a problem with a lot of millennials. We so scared of getting hurt or looking played, or because that was another fact. Millennials are too cool for school.
Yeah, we too cool. We don't like to get played. You feel
too
me?
Cool. Like, don't want to get played. Everybody trying to.
But that's our whole entire generation.
That's what I'm saying. It's our whole generation, and you. That's unrealistic. Think you're not never gonna go through life and be hurt by something, or you just gonna. They call us the ghosting generation, y'all. The ghosting generation, like, and we will ghost the hell out of you. Like, how many people have you just dry ass and never text again? You just like unfriend, leave. Like, that's the thing. I'm still gonna unfriend you, baby. Don't be putting me on a weird block list and muting me, baby. Grow some balls and delete me. Like, let it be known where the line is. But that's crazy. Yeah. And like, you have to understand how to communicate with people.
So do you feel like by us going through everything that we've been through and like learning how to communicate on our own in our own different ways and in our own time, do you feel like that helped us with like being like a married couple that work together?
Yeah. Because that's important. We have a lot to fight about now. Like, we had a lot to fight about in general. Like, we have kids. So when you have kids, you got more to fight about. Then you got the money, bills, and we're building. And then when you have business now, it's like, I can be mad at you for something at work, but then you can't let that overspill into your personal. Like I'm mad at you about work stuff, not personal stuff, or like even if I'm mad at you about there's been times when we've been into it, or I'm mad at you, you mad at me, but business still running, so I'm gonna still talk to you. Like I'm still gonna run them things down. Like
so you gotta still be able to switch that hat.
You can't let that get in the middle of your stuff. Like you gotta be able to pivot like that and like understand it's a difference, it's a time and place.
Yeah. Because I think back when we was younger and we worked on the jobs, like regular people, like other people's jobs, if communication didn't matter. Because I'm like, I mean, shit, I did security and I worked overnight, so like I can talk on the phone anytime I wanted to. I didn't really have no like boundaries when it comes to that because I ain't really just had no boss like on my ass. I ain't never really had no job. Well, I take that back at Macy's and then my first job at CC's Pizza that I got fired on my first day. But like, I got fired at CC's on my first day within the first couple of hours because I was not friendly enough.
Facts.
Like, because I wasn't up in that high. Welcome to CC's. I'm like, bro, like I said, like I spoke to people when I came over here and cleaned their tables, and it was like I ain't want to bust on tables too, and it was like you didn't tell me I had to bust on tables, and I'm in here with my white tennis shoes on. Like I thought I was up in here like doing something else, and like he had me busting tables and shit. And it was like cleaning up the soda machine area, and it was like soda everywhere, bro. And that shit was wild because I'm in here with white tennis shoes on because like I'm matching with my work uniform.
Wears white tennis shoes to work.
Because I'm wearing my uniform.
He didn't hand to work.
Like this, I'm matching my uniform with my tennis shoes. I'm gonna be fresh. You feel me? So when I had to do all this extra shit, and it's like I'm always the one who was like, bro, my shoes is like too slippery up in this mud. No grip. But it's communication.
No, yeah. Like you have an obligation to the people, to your friends and your spouse, but especially your spouse, to be able to communicate with them. Even if it's just for their best interest. Like how are y'all gonna communicate about these kids if y'all can't communicate about simple stuff?
Yeah.
Like how are you gonna communicate about career changes or if somebody's going through something or like you have to be able to verbally speak it, and then how you gonna teach your kids? Because like I said, our parents didn't sit us down and teach us how to communicate with each other.
But I think that's changing. I think a lot of us are teaching our kids how to communicate.
We learning how to communicate with our kids.
Yeah, I know, but we also teaching them that like, certain stuff that you're doing, like
it's
at
not
this
cool.
moment, it's not cool. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't say that, like certain things
what's
or
wrong?
stuff like that.
Yeah,
we ask our kids out their feelings and stuff like that. I think that's like real. That's something that I feel like our generation like really picked the ball up on.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out.
So we can like really understand like our kids a little bit better. Mm-hmm. So we can at least try to like slow down some of the madness that all of us had to go through when it was like preteens and teenagers. Because I think a bunch of us that's millennials, like that's the real stage that we like scared of when it comes to raising our kids.
Really?
Because we know how we were when we were preteens and teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, bro, like our kids gonna be like us, or they gonna be worse than us? Are we like raising them the right way when they're little so they don't really be like us?
That's the thing.
That's when we really understand if we like raised them.
Yeah.
Because when they teenagers and they out here running wild, it's like, bro,
it's already done. It's a product.
I ain't do my job. Yeah. So it's like,
the beginning stages. It's like, this is where you messed up.
Now I really gotta work double time to try to at least like get a little bit of it.
Yeah. You have to cater to them when they little. You have to communicate. And like even like communicating like your behavior is not appropriate for this environment. And you need to go take this somewhere else because I'm quick to tell my kids you can take your energy somewhere else.
Even dumb stuff. You communicate dumb stuff.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like you have to just be able to say it, and it's like I tell something all the time. It's not what you said, it's how you said it. You can say that a little bit better. You can use a different word. You can like be mindful of what you're communicating. Know what you want to communicate first. So a lot of people don't even understand the feelings and they don't want to understand the feelings because it's foreign. True. And they don't want to figure it out. So everybody just shut down, especially when our generation, nobody wants to cause a problem. Yeah. Like our generation, I think is big for saying, "Oh, we don't want to cause no problem," and that still causes.
Because we had a lot of problems and issues when we was like preteens and teenagers. So it's like, why do we constantly like? Once I think a lot of us once we got past like 25, a bunch of us was really on some like, if we got to be on some passive aggressive shit just to like stay out of confrontation. And then it's like we wouldn't do that because it was like a bunch of us was. We seen people dying. We seen a bunch of just random stuff going on. People going to jail. So it's like, everybody had to like chill out. So it came with that. But it's like now since we like in our 30s, and it's like everybody know how to like chill out. Now it's like, all right, now let's figure out how to communicate.
Yeah, it's figuring out because there's a lot of people, even business wise, like we talk to people all the time, say, I don't know you. Like, understand when you talking to somebody, especially when you're talking to them for the first time, people don't know you. Learn how to just communicate and say hi, hello. Like, understand that that's your first impression. That's still important. Everybody's scared to be judged, but if we was all moving to be thoughtful and like to get our feelings and our thoughts out and not be speaking from, some people speak from so much trauma, they speak from trauma from the first moment you talk to them. It'd be like, they will argue down about some stuff and they'd be like, girl, that was just a whole misunderstanding. Like, computers may have errors, like things happen, like you went straight to a trauma, somebody lying to you, baby. I don't know your background, I don't even know you. Like, can you will it back? Like, people that you're going to be judged. Nobody is above that. Jesus is gonna judge you. So we should not be everybody gonna get judged. So that's not a real fear. That's not something you should be afraid of, especially if you know you walking into any room or you talking, if you treating people right. At the end of the day, like you have to treat people right, and like that's learning your communication. Learning how to talk to people because it's hard being out here trying to be an adult, not get locked up because you trying to learn how to communicate with somebody because nobody taught you that crap. That's crazy.
But the crazy thing is that that's why I said at the beginning, communication is like a multiple, like it's layered. It's a layered conversation and it's a multiple conversation. I feel like this is something that we can always like retouch up on.
We will.
And like come back to because we just talked about communicating with like learning like your communication issues and then communicating in your relationship. Yeah. And then she just started getting into is like communicating business wise. But then you can just talk about communicating with your friends out in the world, just anything. Communication is like key
it's something we need to work
everything. And it's like that's why I feel like that it's a good place for us to stop now. Because we can always bring back up communication. So before we get out of here, do you got like a rant that you want to get out?
This food, y'all. Why are we in a storm in the Capitol right now? I'm not trying to say no.
Man, you can't say shit like that on live, bro. Like that. Do I gotta like beat that out? You can't say that. You can't say that.
I'm sorry.
Especially not what just happened last week. You can't be talking like that. Like,
proceeds. Okay, Boston Tea Party then. Like, maybe can we have a Boston Tea Party? Because I'm sick. And every time I go to the grocery store, everything $50, $60.
Tea Party, boy, you better learn your history. History repeats itself. You know that, right?
Why we not throwing over goods right now? Because they did it for less.
Like 3%, my God. They did it for 3% taxation on stamps. 3% on stamps. We getting taxed 30% off your paycheck off top. And that's not even counting for all the other little stuff that goes on.
These groceries is ridiculous.
Ooh, that's a whole.
I'm sick of it. Every time you go into the store and just breathe the air when you walk in, they charge you $60. Like, I'm convinced. And I'm sick of it.
Yeah. You used to can just go to, if you was going to
how much it took me to cook spaghetti. Do you know how much that meal costs at the store?
But we're organic, so that's why our spaghetti is. Yes, it is.
It's however well.
I mean, it's hot everywhere, but it is like we get grass fed beef, bro.
You shouldn't be playing with my food now.
Like,
See, that's gonna
everything
get
is
me on
grass
another
fed.
rate. You shouldn't be playing with my food. My food, all my food should be edible. Like it should be all this extra stuff, and I gotta pay you extra to give me real food. Then I mean, cut me out. I ain't got nothing else to say.
Man, she finna go on that rant. Damn, I think that's like that'd be. That's interesting.
Cut me out now.
Like my rant for the week would be. I just think that like I ain't really got no rent. I ain't got no rent. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was gonna try to like pull something out the sky.
So why did you not just communicate that you didn't have no? See,
I am communicating. I ain't got no rent.
And he see what.
I just communicated that I ain't got no rent. I was fenced to, like I was about to be fenced to and everything. I was about to try to finesse a whole rent out, but it's like I ain't got one. So it's like, yeah, I got a rant about not having a rent because it was like this was one of the things that I said I wanted to put up in the thing is for us to have a rent, and it's like I ain't even got no rent this week. I feel like everybody else has a rent for me. Like my father-in-law, my son, like they all renting for me because they upset because
oh my
I had to give my son the game room, and I didn't have a problem with giving up my game room. So it's like, yeah, but they are upset about me giving up.
They been hurt. Everybody is hurt.
And it's like I'm fine with it, you know. I knew it was time for him to get his own room, so it was like, yes, we're gonna move into his own room. So he can have his special own little space, so he can have his own little creativity area to like grow and do all the things that he needs to do. I know it's crazy.
I think I'm crying lately.
Because it's like we both got like two little boys that's just like, yeah, they both got their own rooms now, like they're becoming their own themselves. So it's like, that's why I don't really have a rant, because it was like,
yeah, I realized
moving his ass into his room, it was like, it was interesting. Because it was like, as soon as he seen it, it was happy. Yeah. And it was like, that's what it's about. Like,
I kind of wanted him to cry with me. Like, he didn't just have to sing so excited about it. He didn't have to do that. Like,
my game used to be in my room back in the days anyhow. It ain't nothing wrong with putting it back in the bedroom. Like, yeah, I guess that's just more inspiration to grind hard so we can get to this house.
Yeah.
So I can get my game room back. And just this time it'd be bigger than ever. But I'm Hunt.
I'm Kiki.
This is the Hunt Life Podcast.
Thank y'all for joining us.
Hunt Life.
Live dreams.